Hey everyone, Janelle here of Janelle.com, and welcome to another video, or if you're watching on the blog, another blog post. I often get questions about manifesting. I talk about manifesting a lot on the blog, on my social media at Janelle Adams if you're not following me. And the most common question I get is how to actually do it, right? So, which, you know, that's a fair question. That makes sense. So my first question will then be, well, what do you want to manifest? And I see the same thing over and over and over again. And that is why I'm making this video today, because there is something that you're not really doing so that you can actually manifest something and change your life. Hi guys, my name is Janelle Adams, and it is my belief that when you follow your dreams, you empower your children to do the same. Part of the problem why you're not able to manifest anything is that you don't actually know what you want. So when people say, I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, how do I do it? And I'm like, well, what do you want? And it's super general. It's, I want to be successful. I want to lose weight. I want to do this or do that. But like whatever it is, it's very general. And the thing is, if you want to manifest something, if you want to bring something to fruition, you have to get clear on whatever it is that you desire. What do you actually want? And I know this is a loaded question, especially as moms, because when was the last time that you really sat down and thought about what you wanted? As moms, a lot of times we're thinking about what's best for our kids, we're thinking about what's best for our spouse, you know, what's good for the family as a whole, but we're not actually spending time with ourselves and trying to figure out what we truly desire. When was the last time you really sat and gave yourself permission to figure out what you really, truly want? And that can be one of the reasons why you're not manifesting anything. It could be because you don't really want what you say you want. Or you don't actually know what you want and you're being very general. One that I get all the time is, I want to be successful. Okay, so how can you manifest success if you haven't defined what success means for you? Because success means something different for every single person. So what is success? Is it a certain booking a certain amount of clients per month? Is success for you leaving your 9-to-5 and becoming an entrepreneur? Is success for you being at a certain level in your corporate job? What is success? You have to figure out what that is and what that looks like. And so here's the other thing. When it comes to figuring out what you want, and we do this a lot as women, even thinking about what we want, we put limitations on ourselves. And we limit ourselves by what we feel like would cause the least amount of change for our family. Deep down inside, you might actually want to do something that might result in your family having to relocate. You might, what you really desire might require you to take a pay cut. What you desire might require you to go to school or require you to invest in a business coach or something. But like, that's scary, you know, because you're trying to make everyone so comfortable, and change is always uncomfortable. So a lot of times it's like, you know what, I really want to do this, but it won't work for my family. That'll be too much. It'll be too much of a change. Or maybe it'll be that you might be required to spend more time outside of your house, and then you might feel guilty about that because you struggle with mom guilt. So that's a lot of the reason why as moms, we don't even really allow ourselves to want what we truly desire because we fear that our desires are going to disrupt our family life. But then what happens is that it eats away at you, and you become resentful in the long run. So that's something to think about. Getting back to the whole point of this, like, you know, getting clear on what you want. If you want to manifest something, you have to get clear. So again, like, back to I want to be successful. What is success? What does that really look like for you? What does that look like? What does your day look like in your world as a success? You know, are you getting up at a certain time? Are you commuting to like your big corporate job? Does it look like you getting up whenever you feel like and going to your home office and taking clients over the computer? What does that look like? What does success look like? And then once you figure out what you truly desire, like for real, not like what I think is possible based on where I'm at now, or not what I think I can do to work around my family so that nobody's life gets disrupted. But you have to get real with yourself, because your fake desires are not going to come true because you don't actually really want them. So you're not in alignment with it. So that's not happening. So after you get real with yourself and you have your come to Jesus moment and you get clear about what you actually want, you need to also get clear on why you want this. You know, the why is like the battery that's going to keep you going so that you can attract this thing that you're trying to manifest. Because just because you want something, it doesn't always just fall into your lap. You're more than likely going to have to work towards it. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to get into action. You're going to have to put in some work to manifest what you want. And some things are easier to manifest than other things. But let's say like you want to, right now you're a stay-at-home mom and your true desire is to be a doctor. You know, that's not going to just happen. Like, you're going to have to take steps to get there, right? You're going to have to go to school, you're going to have to study, you're going to have to pass exams, like all kinds of stuff. So the why keeps you connected to that desire, and it's also the fuel for your desire. Because especially when you're making big changes and you're trying to manifest big things, it is going to be tiring sometimes. It's going to be challenging sometimes. So you are going to want to hang on to that why so that you can keep motivated. And also, depending on what you want to manifest, it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. Especially if it's like a big career change or something like that. You know, if this is something that's going to take time, you need to you got to keep that faith. And in order for you to keep that faith, you have to stay super connected to your why. Because that's going to be the thing that's going to keep you going. When you get tired, when you feel like it's not working and you want to give up, you have to be connected to that why. And the other thing is, when it comes to manifesting, is you can't half-ass it if you want to manifest. It's like, do you really want it or not? Because you can say you want something, but if you don't do anything to actually make it happen, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is your actions need to match what you're manifesting. Okay, so let's say that you want to manifest being a cosmetologist, and you want to eventually own your own spa after you get your cosmetology license, right? So you cannot become a cosmetologist unless you get the license, right? So if your desire is to become a cosmetologist and eventually a spa owner, but you are not actually working towards getting your license, then how is that going to manifest? How is that going to happen? How can you get to the end goal of owning your own spa and being able to work in the spa if you don't have the license? You know, like, you have to go through certain steps. So if you're saying that you want to be the cosmetologist and spa owner, but every time an opportunity comes for you to go to school, you turn it down, or you find excuses as to why you can't, go to school, or you just are not actually doing anything to work towards this thing that you really want to manifest, then it's not going to happen. And in a lot of those cases, you really have to stop and check yourself and wonder again, like, is this what I actually want, or is this something that somebody wanted for me? Or was that something that I wanted 10 years ago, but I don't even really want that now? There's a lot of inner work that comes with this whole manifesting thing, because it can't just be like random things that you're not connected to and you don't have a real desire for it. You got to get clear. What is it that you really want? What do you really want? When you close your eyes and you think about like your dream life, your best life, what does that really look like? So let's say like you want to do something and it requires you to be on a level 4, but you're like, you know what, I'm a mom and I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to bring my dream down to a smaller scale, to like a level 2. Like, don't do that. Don't put any limitations on yourself. Like a lot of times we're worrying about challenges that haven't even come up, Like you might really want to do something and you're thinking to yourself like, I can't do that because who am I going to get to watch my kids? So you just don't even allow yourself to want what you want. It's like we're taking ourselves out the game before we even get called up to bat. And we're psyching ourselves out with stuff that haven't even happened. Like all this hypothetical stuff. Like you haven't even given yourself a chance to get there yet. When you get to that bridge, you'll figure out how to cross it. And you never know, that might not even be an issue for you when you get to that point. But we tend to make up stuff in our minds, like these limiting beliefs as to why we can't do certain things. And unfortunately, as moms, oftentimes we use our families and our kids as excuses as to why we can't have or be certain things. And I really want you to like sit with that for a moment, because I am sure that there are certain things that you've wanted to do and you've made a series of small decisions here and there over the past few years, because you've become a wife, because you've become a parent, and you've made like really small decisions over time that have taken you further and further and further away from what it is that you truly want. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but it happens. If you feel like you have lost yourself in becoming a wife and mom, that's okay. It happens. But starting today, you can start doing the inner work to figuring out what are your true desires. And you probably already know what that is, but you just shoved it down so deep and just convinced yourself that you can't have it or you can't do it anymore because, now you're, running your household and now you have so much responsibility and now you have so much bills and, that's not possible anymore. But, you're going to have to sit and figure out with yourself, what is it that I really want? So if you've been trying to manifest something and it's not happening, it's either because you're way too general about it. You need to get a little bit more specific. You're not really connected to your why, or your actions are not actually matching the things that you say you want. Because people will say like, I want to manifest the business, but they don't do anything to call in that manifestation. They're not reading anything. They're not testing anything. They're just sitting there saying that they want it. But just sitting there and being still, when you're trying to manifest a business, for example, that's just not going to work. Unless somebody literally, like, comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, I have this $1 million business, don't want to run it anymore, do you want it? And drops it in your lap. But I don't really know if that's real, if that's going to happen. And I don't want to use the word realistic because I hate that word, but I don't really know if that's going to happen. I don't know. So, you have the power within you to manifest anything. You and your source, you work together and you can make anything happen. You can manifest anything as long as you are in alignment with it. So don't limit yourself and don't count yourself out because you're a mom and because you're a wife and you feel like, your goals are just not in line with being a family person. Because especially now, I'm recording this in 2017. Especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can include your family in that. You can totally make whatever it is that you want to happen around your kids and, incorporate them in your life, in your manifestation. So that's something to think about. So that is what you're probably missing from your manifestation, and that's why it's not happening. Because you're not clear at all. Your why might not be strong enough, and your actions probably don't match what you're manifesting. So I challenge you, after watching this video, to get your journal. Hopefully you have a journal. If you don't, get a piece of paper or something. I would say use your iPad, but I really feel like there's power. Not I feel, but I know that there's power in writing things down. So get a pen and paper. I know it's like, what are those things anyway? But really sit down and think about what it is that your best life looks like, that your ideal life looks like, and write it down. And spend some time with yourself and just, even if you don't, it might not come to you right away because you really may not have thought about this at all for years. So it may not come to you right away, but just write down whatever comes to mind, and as time goes by, it'll get clearer and clearer and clearer. It's part of this whole like spiritual thing and inner work. Yeah. I hope that whatever you want to manifest, that it happens for you. I know it can. I've manifested so many different things. And I know people who manifest things, and you manifest things. You're manifesting things every single day, and you're not even aware of it. It's just that now you have to become more intentional about the things that you're manifesting. Because everything around you right now, you've manifested. You've manifested where you live. You've manifested who your spouse is. You've manifested your job or your business or lack thereof. Like, everything around you is a manifestation of your thoughts that you've had over the years. It's like you're living in this like residual of like thoughts that you've had over the years. But that's a whole nother video in itself. Again, to my moms out there, don't limit yourselves when it comes to dreaming big and when it comes to manifesting. And whatever it is that you desire, you wouldn't have that desire unless you had every capability to bring it to life. Fortunately, if you don't and you ignore it, it's just gonna haunt you until you do it. And if you just really don't do it, years from now, you may be a world of regret. And who wants to live like that? So, happy manifesting. If you love this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to my blog, and you can do that below. And yeah, just keep tuning in to Janelle.com and on my YouTube and on my social media at Janelle Adams for more on being a mom while manifesting a life and career and home that you love. So happy manifesting. drop me some comments and let me know what you want to manifest. And you know what? If it's too general, I'm going to help you to break it down into something more specific so that you have something more concrete to hold onto so that I can help you manifest whatever it is that you truly desire. So thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye.